You're watching the Monday Mornings with Mitch podcast. You possibly are listening to Monday Mornings with Mitch podcast, which would be great too. I'm your host, Mitch Morris, and I'm joined by my buddy who's on the road again, Casey Hahi. Case, how are you and where are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm in Atlanta, and you know I never pass up an opportunity to hop on the pod, and especially because we have such an awesome guest for this episode, a tall boy, a farm boy, a gentleman, a scholar, big-time baller.
Ooh.
I wonder if I can rhyme anymore, but I'll stop there. And
no, quit while you're ahead, Case.
Just pretty fired up about this one.
Yeah, and you should be, Case, because we're talking to one of my really good buddies who is a big-time baller. His name's Spencer Brown. He's the fifth-year pro and right tackle for the Buffalo Bills. He's an extraordinary football player, but even better person. We dive into all facets of his life. We talk a little ball, and then it gets a little spicy at the end, so I would stick around if I were you guys. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode with our good buddy, Spencer Brown.
Let's go.
I've got a long list of real good reasons for all the things I've done, and regret is just a memory written on my brow, and there's nothing I can do about it now.
Standing in at 6'8", rocking about 310 crispy, just lean bills. All right. Iowa native. And he's been deemed the team psychopath on national television. Please welcome to the show, Spencer Brown.
Hey-ho.
Yeah, dude. Spence, thank you so much for joining us, pal. I know you're off a bye week, end of the work week. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. Excited to do it. Been wanting to get on the show for a little bit now.
Well,
there's a lot
we've
of
been
people
itching to have you on too. Well, we've been chomping at the bit. We've been you're gracing us with your presence, pal. And in the intro that I gave, I talked about Iowa. All right, I've played with a few dudes from Iowa, and off the field, these guys are the greatest dudes you can be around. A short list, it's not all of them, but like an Ike Butker, a Brandon Sheriff, and Spencer Brown. Right, super solid dudes. You want to bring them around your family, all this stuff. You put a helmet on these dudes, Casey, something happens.
Psychopath.
I mean, they got touched with the sociopathic stick in Iowa. These dudes lose their fucking mind. Spence, can you tell us what happened to you guys in Iowa and why there's this inner freak that comes out of you guys when you play football?
Probably. It's that well water, maybe.
Yeah.
Corn.
Straight up.
Something in the corn.
Absolutely. But, I think I don't really know how to answer that, to be honest. I think we're just all raised kind of similarly. I think that's why Ike and Brandon and I finally met Brandon when we went to PAO. So I got to meet him a little bit and talk to him, and he fits the Iowa description very, very well. Probably the most sought-after native Iowa I can think of.
He's so crazy that he got introduced into the Iowa Hall of Fame, didn't smile. He's in front of 60,000 people screaming. Just does one of these. And I text him, I'm like, dude, what happened? He's like, no one told me to smile. I'm like, you should just smile.
No emotions.
No emotions. It's got to be the minerals in that well water, which is kind of crazy.
GMO.
Too many GMOs outside of Iowa. You guys need some GMOs in your food and your water. The beef is too clean out there. It's going to bring out the rabies. Well, the crazy thing is, no pun on words. There was a motion picture film filmed in Lenox, Iowa.
It's true.
The Crazies. 2010, Timothy Oliphant. And it's got a 72 on Rotten Tomatoes. So there's something, too. Let's bring this to Iowa where the folks are a little wild. All right, we'll film some zombie shit. But the folks, I mean, they got right into it. But getting into Lenox, Spence, so I was just kind of deep diving into it. Pretty cool town, right? It's a railroad town. Originally, 1871 was when it was erected, which is my favorite word to say outside of certain context. It was originally called Summit, Iowa, and then renamed after one of the vice presidents of the railroads company's daughter. Okay, two things I want to talk to you about. One is that you guys are in the forefront of clean energy in Iowa. Suppose you got this one turbine that creates two turbines?
A lot of turbines.
A lot of turbines. Well, there's one turbine in general that creates 11% of y'all's energy, which is like super cool, man. I know you're all on the clean energy, non-fossil fuel stuff, which is cool. But also, I want you to talk about the Lennox Rodeo. All right. So supposedly the Rotary Club puts on a really good ice cream
I don't know how you. I don't know how you know all this stuff.
extravaganza.
That's on Google.
Dude,
Don't worry
this
about
is a
don't worry about me, dog.
professional show.
So tell me about, like, so does a Rotary, because supposedly people come after and this sought after ice cream. So please tell me a little bit if you've ever dabbled in this ice cream.
I have dabbled in the ice cream. They sell it during the whole rodeo. I think the rodeo is 3 days long, and they just have dads that are in the Rotary Club with a little apron thing on. They walk around with a chest of ice cream, and it's a little cup, and it is delicious. It's homemade ice cream, so it's good.
Have you ever, my favorite part about rodeos is when they throw the little kids in there with the calf.
Yeah.
They put the ribbon on the calf and they go around. Were you ever one of those kids?
I've seen that happen, but we had the mutton busting thing. So yeah, all the kids would ride the sheep around. But actually, when you get older, you can ride a steer. And I was a massive 14-year-old, and that poor steer could barely the chute. I could feel its legs wobbling as I got out. But
You can feel, that's why we all have sympathy back pain now, is because you shattered some poor young bull's L4 and L5 vertebrae by just being a tremendously giant person from the jump. Also, 2 different counties that Lennox is in, right? Is it Taylor and Adams County? Which one did you fall into?
technically both. My mom lived in town in Taylor, and then my dad lived right across the Adams-Taylor Road. So our farm
Is there-
is definitely in Adams County.
Is there one you prefer?
Ooh.
I guess it's not a
I'm gonna
totally
have-
fair question.
In Taylor County.
Taylor?
I have my license plate back there. It has Taylor on it.
She also have delicious ambient lighting. We were talking about it off air.
Dude, yeah, I don't like overhead lighting. My mom actually complained about this because there's some. I would do this in my office if I have no overhead light in my office whatsoever, or a light like right above the staircase. But I walk around in the dark all the time.
Well, it's the clean. It's got to be some sort of circadian rhythm thing, like it kind of going into the clean energy thing that you guys in Iowa are all into. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be some
Yeah,
sort of.
It's about I don't know how many millions of gallons of oil to keep them things going. It's all clean.
Well, okay, so Lennox, Iowa is not too big. In fact, it's for your high school football, and I know this is overplayed, but I think it's super unique, is that you were an 8-man football player, right? You played 8-man football, rather. No tackles, there's just guards, and it's a run-heavy offense, dude. And you played defensive end and tight end, had 17 sacks your senior year, but you did do a little blocking. In fact, we pulled up a little bit of high school film. We dove in.
Yeah.
Case, do you want to pull up some of Spencer's high school film?
Yeah, we found some good stuff here.
At 16, there wasn't a single person that could guard Junior.
Oh my god!
Spencer,
like, what the hell is
tell
going
me
on?
that. Why would you do that to those poor kids?
That was
You
so
were
mean.
humongous.
Yeah,
You were humongous. So you must have gone through a fluctuation, because I know you had to gain weight at some point. But that was a crazy clip.
100, and then I had to come right back up.
450 pounds.
Shamed by everybody.
Okay, so Spence, you played 8-man football. The Northern Iowa coach was just recruiting around the area, comes over to your place. You had spliced up your own huddle film. You're in a computer class with your fellow classmates. He goes and you watches it, gives you an offer. Okay. You go in as a tight end, but they're like, hey, listen, you would be a delicious offensive tackle. You got the frame for it. So there had to be a little bit of, I know you talked about, like, you're a team player. Yeah. I'll do anything to play. But there had to be a little bit of, like, I don't want to be a fat fuck that goes out there tackling, right? Or blocking dudes.
There was. I think the second semester of my freshman year, first semester of my second year that fall, I was a toad, dude. My buddy sends me Snapchat video, like old, like save videos, and I was just the most skinny fat person you've ever seen in your life.
Well, I don't know, because we don't. I was showing Casey a photo. He couldn't believe that you
When I
weren't
first got there,
weren't 300 pounds from the jump. You're just 6'8", just 220, walking around like a twig. All right.
like a leopard.
So you were on this 8,000 calorie diet, which I assume sounds a lot cooler than it actually was.
Terrible.
It's probably a nightmare. You consumed a bunch of stuff. Then you have to forego you don't have to, but you forego your senior season. It kind of coincides with COVID, so that kind of probably played your hand a little bit, right, in that whole thing. You go, you get drafted in the third round, and now you're in your fifth year of a delicious NFL career, right? So this is really a three-part question. So the first part I want to ask you, because you can ask people after they played to look back and look back into the thing, but you still have a lot of football left ahead of you if you want, right? When you decide to hang up your helmet, Spence, how do you want these next few years? When you look back at this point till when you decide, how do you want these next few years to play out? And maybe not so much accolades or things, but how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to play the game? How do you want this back half of your career, maybe even more than back half of your career, to end for you?
That's actually a really, really good question. I think for me, it's the consistency of it. Like I think that's a big part of playing offensive line is just how long you can do it for at a high level, and that's every single play. We play every single snap, but that's just a personal thing. But I think around the facility, a big thing to me, like when I was growing up, was we had cousins that were much older than us. They were playing high school when we were in elementary school, but my parents would be like, "Is that what they do? Is that what would they do that? Would they do that?" I kind of want to be the example for like the younger guys coming in and kind of setting I wouldn't say a standard, but like kind of showing the ropes like you did for me. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you carry yourself off the field. And I think that's just kind of a fine line to ride, and you figure it out to yourself because not everybody's the same. But at the same time, just kind of doing it about your own way, but helping people along the way.
I think that's a very apt answer. I think that's a good answer, and that's one of those things that I'm sure even in these first few years you've had, your process changes every year, right? And I can tell you, even going from my 8th, 9th, and 10th year, I'm like, man, I learned so much in my 10th year, my last year playing, that I wish I'd known years before. But you kind of hit your stride, and there's points where you think you hit your stride and you keep going. And I think if you have that consistent, like, just listen, I'm just going to do my deal. I'm going to have my process, and I'm going to just be a professional and just show young dudes. Because now, like, look at it, dude. You're a vet, and is it a weird feeling being a veteran as an offensive lineman?
It's very, very weird. I don't know if I like it, but I guess I have to do it. They don't ask me a lot of questions. I feel like I had 1,000 questions for like Dion and Daryl and DQ even coming in the room when we were there. But I mean, obviously you two had a lot of talks off the field, but I don't know if they're quiet or shy, or I'm just not a very approachable guy at the facility. But,
I don't know if it's that. Well, you also came into a very veteran offensive line.
Very veteran. I remember, like, I was talking to Doyle the other day. He's got back from Europe, but it's like, dude, that was insane. We had a great offensive line. It's because we were the youngest guys by 6 years, probably.
Yeah. Which is a blessing and a curse, right? Like your pod that you can relate to is smaller, right? Because you go and you're like, man, these guys have kids, they have a life, they have all this stuff. But at the same time, you do get to kind of those learning curves of how to do stuff. You have the tools, or you have the people you can kind of lean on, which I think is super unique. And okay, so the next question for me is, I think the big thing people see is from the outside looking is just how glamorous the football life can be, right? But you and I know it can take a toll. So I think for me is, before you'd gotten in the NFL, you probably had all these preconceived notions, you had all these expectations. What has been the most taxing part of playing in the NFL for you?
It's probably some of the best questions I've ever been asked, to be honest. Very methodical, just a well thought out question.
More, yeah, that's good. Nice.
Rub my back.
Nice.
I thought when it's not even the playing part, more so just the mental side of things. Like, when I first came to the league, I thought every day was going to be a party. Like, I was going to feel $1 million and it was going to be awesome. And probably chase that at times, looking for a party.
Sure.
That's definitely
Carolina Panthers 2021.
Yeah, I was encouraged to do that.
You were. No, I was there. I was there when you were encouraged. You're right.
And then I did
you partied, though.
And I got discouraged very quickly.
It's a fine line. You found the line. It's great.
And I found the line. But I think just, it's not all sunshine and rainbows every single day. Even though you're living out your childhood dream and things that you look forward to, like, your whole life, and then you get there and I don't want to say it's not fulfilling, and it is some days, but most days it's not great. It's work, it's a job, and I don't think a lot of people really understand that.
Yeah, I remember my friend. It was maybe my rookie or second year. It was during OTAs. My buddy is in town, kind of hanging out while I'm at practice, and I go, "Hey, do you mind picking me up from work?" And he goes, "You call that fucking work, dude?" And dude, I gave him an earful. It is. I mean, not only physically is it taxing, right? Like mentally, it takes its toll. So, and I think that's the thing that there's definitely more on the forefront of that. I think people are definitely talking about that. But kind of going even through what we were talking about earlier, those last few years, I was still even dealing with stuff that I wish I had the tools that you'll find. And the football is this beautiful thing where you're gonna the Kaizen line was something that Coach talks about all the time. There's some validity to that, but it's hard not to write it, right? Mm. But you're like, by the time that you can really garner the mental acuity and all this stuff to be your best version of yourself mentally on the field, your body doesn't start responding the way it is. But that's way down the road for you. Okay, the next thing I wanted to ask you is on the flip side of this, right? So what's an unexpected gift that football, the NFL, has brought to you? And let's put aside the second contract, the money part. Like let's omit money. What's been a gift that football's given you?
I think it still makes me uncomfortable because it's, but like going back home where I have a nephew now that's he's young and looking up to you and like really see you as a role model, but in the back of your head, like I still feel like I'm not doing like all the right things, and like it's just like it's a weird feeling of like having people, like a ton of people, look up to you and not feeling like, I don't say you don't deserve it, but like, I feel like there's
imposter syndrome.
Like there's just so much more that I feel like I could do that I haven't done yet to like get into the acceptance of that in a way, if that makes any sense.
No, it totally does. Yeah. No,
but I love it. I'm going to do my best to be a role model for a ton of people back home in my hometown and obviously my family, but at times it doesn't feel like I should deserve it in a way.
Well, it is interesting having that weird imposter syndrome where people come up to you, strangers, and in your instance, people from your hometown, and view you a certain way where you feel like you're still a child yourself.
Yeah, like that. Right? I don't know, I'm 27, but I feel like I was drafted like yesterday. So
yeah. Isn't that a wild deal? Okay, so speaking on like going back to your hometown, the Buffalo Bills did a very cool 25-minute piece. They did this thing called Beyond the Blue and Red. Really well done. You kind of had to give the green light to really have, it's a very intimate setting, right? They come into your house, they go into your hometown, they speak to the people you care about the most, and they kind of dive in, and it was really well done, right? Top to bottom, I thought you did a great job of being vulnerable and very cool stuff. But there's a few things that stood out to me that I thought was unique. And one of them was that in Lenox, Iowa, 325 acres is considered small. How is that possible, Spencer?
There's a farmer when I was in high school that legit forgot about a field in the middle of winter and went out to the combine and it was snow on the ground. So, like, it's wide open, dude. There's land everywhere.
Okay, I thought that was pretty cool. One of my favorite parts of this thing is some kid you're walking through the high school is wearing your jersey, right? And you go and you're like, hey, nice jersey. This kid looks at you, and he could not give two fucks that you're there. He's like, oh, thanks, and just walks off. It was the funniest thing I've seen all day.
Morning, boys. It's a good-looking jersey.
I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, just the intimacy of the small town, right? You have your friends, your family, but also how everyone kind of leans on each other, right? Super unique, super cool. But the thing that stood out to me the most by far was the bond you had with your brother Garrett, right? I thought that was really cool. And I know you talked about it a bunch on that thing, but I was just kind of hoping we could revisit just the bond between a brother, right? Talk about how, because he's back home now working. He's out in the Marine Corps because he did serve. He served right out of high school, I think in Oahu, right? Which is, cool. It sounds probably more glamorous than it actually was. Kind of going through it, right? But now he's back working. So just tell me about like y'all's relationship now, how it's changed, how you guys still lean on each other.
Yeah, just one of those. I'm sure a lot of brothers have went through this, but like early on, you kind of take it for granted. We were not the same growing up. Like he was very farm, Cowboys and Indians. Let's work. Now we're like, hey, I'm gonna wear Nikes and I'm gonna play sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on the farm working, and I can't say I enjoyed it that much. I enjoyed parts of it, but most of the time, I'm like, dude, like we gotta do this shit. So, there's just, I always say, like, same human, different people in a way. Like, we have very similar characteristics to each other of what we like, what we dislike, how we talk, our reactions to things, but definitely two different people. So it's a fun little atmosphere if you get us both in the same room together. That's for sure.
I've seen it. I've got to meet your brother Garrett a few times. He is a hoot and a half. He rocks a mustache.
Mustache and a cowboy. And Vandy met him for the first time, went to the Derby. And I told Vandy, I'm like, dude, my brother doesn't wear suits. You know, you go out there and wear plaid suits and hang out. And he's like, what's he going to wear? I'm like, I just told him to wear his hat and his jacket and his boots. And he got off the plane or out of the airport, and Vandy's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But, it fits him insanely well. So he found his niche.
Well, his free flag flying is just wearing what he knows, dude.
Absolutely.
I think there's something admirable about not pandering to folks. This is me. If you don't like me, you can kick me out, dude.
That's exactly right.
You don't like me, kick me out. I'll be here. I promise I'm not going to be a shit stirrer. Like, it's cool. So, okay, so we kind of talked about his Marine background, and I'm sure that touched your philanthropic side, right? Like that is what you seem to have sunk your teeth in the philanthropic sphere. And you've done a lot of stuff for the soldiers and the vets, which I thought is super admirable. The one thing that stood out to me that I wanted you to chat about was last year in April, you went to D.C. with a bunch of veterans. I mean, from the Korean War, the Vietnam War, I think even a World War veteran. Really cool. And you guys went around talking, visiting monuments. Can you just kind of fill us in on that experience and what that was like?
This is so cool, and I couldn't do it this year because I was busy, but I definitely want to do it again. Just Vandy went with me, but we met all the vets at the airport. Put on what were the flowers, the Hawaiian flower deals.
Oh, the lay.
Yeah, we laid a bunch of veterans.
laid some lays.
But I got to meet them, and then took the flight over, had a dinner, and then went and did all the monuments with them. But it was super cool. I'd never seen Washington D.C. and the Vietnam Memorial and all that. So it was cool to go, but then to be with them, and they had ties there. Vandy had a family member that was on the Vietnam Memorial Wall, so it was just
wow.
It was just super cool, and just really taking it all in and talking to them. And they were just jacked up that we were there, but I was more excited on the inside just to see them, and like they were in the war, and now they're here at the wall looking at it and looking at the. I mean, sadly, they lost some people over there, but just super cool moment to watch for sure.
I'm sure you felt like in this professional realm of football that some days the stress seems like so much, and you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. But at least we always had a coach that said, you're not at least at battle. Like, at least you're not at war. And then you get to see that, and you get to see the weight of that, and you get to see in firsthand.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, some of those guys went over there when they were 18, fresh out of high school, and now old men in the chairs getting wheeled around. But it was pretty cool.
That is cool as hell. So I just wanted to chat about that. I thought that was a unique experience, and I know that you will give that opportunity a go again in the future, which is super nifty. All right, we're going to switch up the segments a bit, and we're going to go to the little lighthearted section before we let you go, Spence. So anytime I go out with Spencer Brown, it takes about 5 seconds in public for someone to bring up how tall he is.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Over and over and over and over again. Answers different questions. So what we're going to do is I have a few of these things that I've picked up over the years being with you that people have said. And this next segment's called, Does It Grind Your Gears, Spencer?
We now go to Peter Griffin for You Know What Really Grinds My Gears.
Thanks, Tom. You know what really grinds my gears?
So we're just going to put a few things out and say, hey, this kind of grinds my gears, or that doesn't bother me, or maybe you can even throw a few in that you've heard. All right, so we'll give everyone its due. So the first one is, wow, how's the weather up there?
I feel like that's like an old person thing, like an old
No
lady.
doubt. No doubt.
But if they're old ladies, I'm gonna be nice to them. I'm like, oh, it's about 68 and sunny. It's great.
Yeah.
You should try it. But if it's just like some random guy my age, I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Are you trying to kiss me?
Yeah, trying to make out right now in this airport? That's weird, dude.
Okay, so that does not grind your gears because it usually pertains to the elderly. All right, this isn't a question, but this is just a statement. I don't know how you answer this one, but you're really tall.
Dude, like I know we're doing this, but just I can flash back to people saying this to me. It just weirds me out.
How do you answer that?
You're really short.
Give it right back to him.
I guess that kind of grinds the gears. It's a little bit of a harsh response.
No, I mean, grind your gears. Okay, next one. Did you play basketball?
I actually got that on the elevator the other day at the airport, and I was like, no, but if I could jump, dribble, or shoot, I probably would. You got to try it.
My knees, my back.
The hardwood's not doing me any good.
No, these shoes aren't squeaking, kid. This is another one that I've just seen. It's kind of playing on the other end of it. Is, hey there, Tiny.
Bad.
Bad. Grind your gears. Okay, great. And then I don't know if you ever heard this one, but aren't you a tall glass of water?
That kind of sounds like you're trying to rizz me up a little bit. I'm like, you want to take a drink?
You kind of like that, don't you,
Want
Spence?
to take a drink?
Yeah, okay, you kind of got that a little bit.
How you doing?
How you doing? Okay, so that does not grind Spencer's gears. That's great. Are your parents tall?
They just say it as fast as I can. Yeah, they're both 6 foot. My dad's are short. My mom is tall.
And then you walk away.
And I walk away.
Doesn't grind your gears, it doesn't sound like.
No, not really. It's a good question. Good conversation starter.
Right? That's a good conversation. If you're going to go away. And then this one I thought was just fun, interesting. Lose a few inches, freak.
I don't think I've heard.
No, that's mine. That's mine.
Yeah,
that's mine. That's mine to you. That's mine to you. Okay. That's great. Okay. Doesn't sound like it grinds your gears. Sounds like you got a good giggle out of it.
I liked it. I like that one.
Okay. No, I would say that's in the same vein as aren't you a tall glass of water, right? You kind of want to kiss you, huh? You kind of want to kiss it? All right. Okay, so the next one is, and you've been a part of this, so it's kind of played out, but it's fan questions, okay? And we did get one person, that you saw, okay? But we usually say, this is the fan question segment, Spencer. We're not going to get people. We ask strangers around the internet. But you know the gig. So I originally had texted Vandy it, and then I decided, I'm going to change it up a bit. Okay. So I actually had to go find strangers, and it was really tough. So
where'd you find
we'll
them?
start. Forums, different avenues of different ways. So the first one is Vandy. Can you put up the Vandy clip?
Hey, Spencer, just want to tell you, you suck at golf.
So, not even a question.
It's a statement.
It's a statement. It's mean.
And it's a lie.
And it's
Well, I guess it's not coming from him. It's a lie. But it's a struggle.
Okay, so Vandy, that was Vandy's question. The next one, okay, so this is a person out of Iowa. I think northern Iowa. Do you want to roll that?
I'm just going to keep it easy. You have an excellent hairline. I love your hair. It looks really good. You look really good. I love you. You're big, strong, athletic. You have a nice smile. Love you, big boy.
You do wear hats a lot. I don't know what's going on with this whole Casey. I thought we told these people to ask questions.
These are statements. They're hyping me up. Besides Vandy, Vandy's motivating me, and Ike's hyping me up.
Yeah, the hair thing was interesting. I don't know. The lettuce, dude.
Some straight lettuce. I got it gets a little curly, and it pisses me off.
They call you what?
You get it?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, if my hair gets curly, it pisses me off. You know all about that.
My curly hair? Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, so the next one is we somehow found someone out of Minnesota. Minnesota.
Well,
can you
Let's
Minnesota
go.
Case, can you pull that up?
Spencer Brown, how you doing, brother? I'd just like to tell you that you absolutely suck at poker. I mean, you're a horrible poker player, and I just wanted to thank you for the extra cash flow that I've been able to make throughout, my 4-year career in Buffalo. Really helped me out financially. Thank you for sucking at poker.
What is with these people?
Do you know that person?
I do. I think it's definitely charity. I've talked to my FA about that, about writing that off.
Casey, I don't. First of all, that person looks very good. He looks like that person might have dropped about 50, 60 pounds. Might have been taking some shirtless photos overseas.
Little bro tank.
Dude, hey,
let
me tell you, I did a little deep diving on this guy. It's Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the guy's got he's even got the hot guy V going now. He used to be kind of a bigger guy. That's cool. Yeah. And the last one is actually out of Iowa again, which is cool.
I hope it's actually a question this time.
Yeah, we're getting killed, Case. We got to figure out a different avenue.
I mean, you can blame me for the vetting process for sure.
I did kind of put this on Case to vet. So let's do the last one out of Iowa, Spencer.
I don't know how to do one of these, but for a question, it's not really a question. Spence, why don't you tell Mitch what happened to the auger on the combine? By the way, we're about to finish Harvest 25. Thanks for all your help.
Look at that stash, dude. Look at that blonde tip stash.
You seem to know that person, too. That person is none other than Garrett, the guy we were talking about earlier. Excellent dude. Can you answer that? Can you be a part of that?
To be fair, it is my fault, but not my fault. My dad trusted us with using heavy machinery from a very young age, and I loved the combine, so he let me do that. And when you're counting rows, because like what he was doing right there, you're going through the middle of the field, so that's when you can turn around and the rows will be even by the time you're done. You're supposed to count rows going forward as you're counting, so you're looking left the whole time. And I said, you know what, it'll save time if I just go backwards out of here.
Oh,
and with using this mirror, I go boom, and I look at my rearview mirror, and I just see a big ass telephone pole swaying back and forth. And I get out and I look around, I'm like, oh, the combine looks pretty. Oh fuck! That whole auger was legit crunched like a can. You just stepped on it, and I started crying immediately because I was like, "Oh my god, my dad's gonna beat my ass."
Oh yeah, what kind of conversation was that?
It was not good. Garrett actually showed up and was like, "What's wrong? Why aren't you running?" And I'm like, "Look at the fucking auger!" With tears running down my face, and he's just like, "Oh, I'll go tell Dad." And they were gone. I mean, he was gone for 30 to 45 minutes, and Dad was right down the road, and apparently they took a drive. So Dad, you calm down, because he was going to definitely tear into me, but he got there. Like, it's fine, but
how much does that run you to fix?
Dude, when I was a kid, I was like, it's $1 million.
Well, he actually did send a follow-up question afterwards, which was, ask him about hauling hay in the blizzard.
Oh, that's a fun one too. We had cows out. It was Christmas Day, I think, and we get a call early in the morning. We didn't open up presents, and I'm like, Kurt, you got cows out. So my dad and brother took off in the truck, and did dead of winter, obviously blizzard out on Christmas morning, and I got instructed to take this open tractor, which people don't know means there's no cab on it. Like you're just sitting on a tractor, and I had 2 bales of hay, and I drove that thing for 5 to 8 miles probably in the middle of winter, freezing my ass off. And I was so upset, but that's kind of how it goes out there. I always got the short end of the stick a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was a fat kid. So my dad made me stomp me, and I was like, dude, you can take it. You got some layers on you.
Tough love in the Brown household.
Absolutely.
Spence, my friend, I can't thank you enough for the time you've spent with us. Such a privilege to talk to you. It's such a privilege to see you, the man you are, and more importantly, the man you are than the football player you are. You're a tremendous football player, but you're an amazing friend. Thank you so much for the time, buddy. Hopefully we can get you on here again if you'd like to come on. We'll worry, like the vetting, like we got to get the vetting process for this fan question thing. Case
you didn't say add questions. That was just statements.
Those are just statements.
Harassment.
It was just pure. Like no one. First of all, that was pure harassment. So we'll tie that up on our end, Spencer. We're so sorry that happened.
I trusted the process, and it just it failed me.
In case he knows about the process.
You know all about the process.
We've talked about the process
And the mindset.
He knows about it. I haven't talked about the mindset yet.
What about the ball?
We've talked about he's just wrapping it around the process. Dude, the process is so hard to get behind,
slow learner,
hard to understand. So cases understand. In case actually, I don't want to put you out too much, Case, but you have to make a call after this, don't you?
Do I?
To the front desk.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I dropped a massive log before we got on the pod. A good unkinked 14, 15 incher. It's clogged. I gotta get.
Yeah, he clogged the hotel toilet. He's got to do the walk of shame. Ask someone to unclog and just watch kind of weirdly.
It happens.
I would say it's kind of like I would assume it's just like when you're at like an all-inclusive vacation. They have an omelet station. You just kind of sit there with everyone else, and you're holding your plate, and they're making the omelet, and you don't know what to do, and you're just like, thank you. You keep
I
saying,
just
"Thank
feel
you,
like a
thank you,
guy's
thank
going to
you."
come in my room with a plunger wrapped in a bag and show me to the toilet. The
Well,
toilet.
hopefully they just give you the plunger. That would be
Get
huge.
a little ass crack on them too.
I don't want to fucking do that.
Here's
Now,
a quick little shit story for you though.
Yeah, yeah, we're
We
all
love
about it,
them.
please.
So my brother, when he was younger, I don't know what was wrong with him, but he was just heavily constipated. Never seen anything like it. He was a super skinny kid, always has been. See his ribs, whatever. But for some reason, when he was younger, he would take the most massive shits I've ever seen to date. I've never seen a shit top my brother's. And we actually had one at the facility, and people were like, look how big it is. It plugged the toilet. I'm like, that is actually pretty small to me.
Yeah.
I'm talking like as thick as this.
Oh.
One that'll
my
make
parents
your
were
ass bleed.
concerned about it, but my dad would go down there and have to chop it up with or whatever it is to make it go down.
Yeah, the toilet
And
brush.
Whatever it was, but Garrett he didn't get any better. He just was still constipated. So my dad got so fed up with taking time to do that whenever he'd take a shit, he'd take an empty ice cream bucket down to that bathroom and bare hand that thing out of the toilet and throw it in an ice cream bucket. And then we take it out. You'd sit it in the back of his truck, right behind the driver's side door. And then when we get out to the farm in the morning, he would just shake right into the catalog, dude.
That's incredible.
Insane.
So then you just throw it out, and some stranger walks up and goes, "Oh my God, there's a bear."
Start looking for tracks.
Oh, the cat. Oh, Spence. First of all, there's no such thing as too many poop. Like every episode comes down to poop in this thing.
I think we need to rename our show as Shit Talk.
It'll be the end of us.
I told you I had a wet fart before I got on here.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. And I was confused about all that encompasses, but we've all had it.
Oh yeah.
You guys ever pee your pants during a game in your life?
Poop my pants? I've talked about me pooping my pants in a game. Spencer, you were there when I pooped my pants in a game.
Oh God, dude!
I can honestly say I've never shit my pants during a game, and that would be that would be a much bigger mess in my hockey equipment.
The boards and just a turd drops out of your pants.
I've never shit my pants.
Flying on the.
I pissed my pants. I've pissed before, and it just goes down your shin pads into your skates.
That's almost every game.
Have you ever taken those kava things, the Feel Free blue shooters, where it's the kava? You guys ever heard of that?
Oh, the kava. No, you know what's crazy is the first time I saw kava was my 2019. They had we had a bunch of guys from the island, and probably like 6 or 7 dudes, and Star Latule had it, and on our off days, guys would go home, but those guys would stay. They'd go to the third floor and they'd have this giant bowl of kava, and they'd pass it around. They always and this one of my biggest regrets is I didn't sit down with the guys enjoy the kava, because they also had the ukulele.
Oh yeah,
out there, dude, and the boys were strumming away, just kavaing their shorts off. It was cool. I've never
reason I asked that though about pissing your pants is because I was taking kava. And I'd take one, and I'm like, okay, that's whatever. And I was like, why don't I just take 2? I'm like, okay. Because I thought like maybe it was a tolerance thing. Like,
yeah.
So I took 3 of those shooters, and then whatever. I was in the evening, and then went to bed. But I was dreaming so hard that in my dream I got out of a car. I got out of a car in my dream and started pissing on the side of the road. And after a couple of seconds, I woke up, and I was just in a puddle of my own piss in my bed.
That's how it always happens, though, right? Because every time I've pissed the bed or something, I've had a dream that I was actually like peeing in the toilet, and I'd wake up and be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. It's been a while, but it happens. It happens.
This was like a week ago.
Yes, that was wildly. Spencer, thank you so much for joining the show. We appreciate you, pal, and we love you, buddy.
Absolutely, boys. Love you too.
Love you, Spence.
Woo! And there's nothing I can do about it now.